It's Alan.
And James.
And today we are reviewing Discipleship by David Watson.
Okay, so this is one of your recent reading lists. Tell us a bit about it, just in a nutshell.
I'm going to be honest, this is a book that really means a lot to me, I guess. Particularly to talk about discipleship, and you've got to know a little bit about who David Watson is. Now, we both live in York, and David Watson was probably one of the clergymen that's had the biggest impact in this city. I mean, I never met the guy, but you still talk to people today who hear what a great, loving, wonderful man he was, what an amazing speaker. And this guy brought near revival to York. Even today, a lot of the big churches in York were still seeing the impact from what he did.
That's quite a big deal, really.
So, I mean, I was introduced to this book right at the start of my Christian journey. It's a sermon series, oddly enough. It's very 80s.
Yeah, hence the retro cover.
It's very 80s. Technical covers aside, like the introduction talks about the fight between Marxism, Islam, and Christianity. And whilst we've not really seen that in terms of the Marxism, some of the references are very 80s, but I can't think of anything else from the 80s. Arnold Schwarzenegger aside, maybe, that's aged as well. This book actually holds up really well. I think David Watson makes the case that discipleship is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing, a church can do. It shows a really kind of startling contrast between where you should be and where God is calling you to be. And when you see that contrast through this book, it's kind of worrying in a way, because it makes you excited for what the church could be, but it kind of really convicts you as to what the problems are. It's a little bit terrifying. Yeah.
That certainly sounds interesting.
It's a bit like the Tim Hughes song that's just come out, only the brave will go where you go. I really like that.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that really stood out about this is that it is really Christ above everything. This guy does not soften the message at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge in a lot of books, isn't it? So, obviously it's quite Christ-centred. How does that then sort of translate into the modern world, would you say?
Okay, well, although it was written kind of early 80s, a lot of the core truths stand up, because you can look through the book and you can see, like, where in Acts this lesson comes from, where certain behaviours come from, and we still have not got it right.
Well, no, but that's part of the journey, I suppose. It sounds very biblically grounded. Is there quite a lot of meat on the bones?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, a lot of people do consider David Watson to be one of the best Bible teachers that England's ever seen. I would agree with that. He's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. You don't have the impact that he had without being that good.
True.
But I think the real value in this book is not just in what it can do, but it's how it can be unpacked. So the book itself is in a whole bunch of different chapters, and it can translate really well into, like, courses, sermon series, all that sort of thing. So as a book, it's really good, but as a sermon series and as a toolbox, it's so much more.
Brilliant.
So I think for anyone that's leading a church, it really needs to be looked at, it needs to be examined. It can be transformative for the individual, but if you've got a group of people who are all really invested into this, and all really committed to learning and developing and growing in discipleship, you'd see the world change.
So maybe a small group study in the making as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So a big question for you. You were introduced to this really early in your walk. Would you say that this is still quite accessible?
Oh, absolutely.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. It's accessible, but it is also deep.
Yeah.
And you can keep coming back to it. I've come back to this book a couple of different times. Although I will say finding a copy can be like finding hen's teeth. So if you can find a copy, definitely buy it.
Well, I think I've found one. So thumbs up or thumbs down, Alan?
That's a thumbs up from me. Get it bought.
I'm going to get it read.